Every day, from the moment we wake up, the world pulls at our attention a sea of noise, traffic jams, bad news on the screen, another deadline, another demand, another distraction. Cut to a man sitting in traffic, gripping the wheel, his jaw clenched. Then switch to a woman scrolling through social media, anxiety on her face. You ever wonder, why is it so hard to stay calm? Not just once in a while, but consistently. Why does the smallest trigger send us spiraling into stress, anger, or fear? It's not just the world outside, it's the world inside our minds. Left untrained, become wild beasts. Reacting, overthinking, panicking. Screen goes black with white bold text. If you don't train your mind, it will control you. Narrator, firmer now. That's not just a quote, it's a warning, and maybe it's the missing piece. Because the real problem isn't the chaos around us, it's that we haven't been taught how to master the chaos within. But there is a way, a path walked by warriors, emperors, and philosophers, a way of thinking forged in the fire of adversity and tested by time. Cut to ancient marble busts, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. Then transition to modern people meditating, journaling, staying calm in stress. It's called Stoicism, not just a philosophy, but a mental training ground, a toolkit to help you reclaim your peace, no matter what the world throws at you. And in this video, we're going to explore how it works, and why it may be exactly what your modern mind needs. Cue inspiring music. Fade into next scene. This is Tomas. He's 33 to most people. He seems calm, quiet, in control, but inside, a storm. Cut to scenes of him getting frustrated in traffic, slamming a door, raising his voice over something trivial, a coffee spill, a missed call. Tomas never learned how to feel his emotions, only how to bottle them up, until one day, like a shaken soda can, he exploded. It started with a small argument, and ended with him walking out the door. Rage in his chest, guilt on his heels. He sits in a park, phone in hand, scrolling, tired. That's when he clicks on a video. The title, Control Your Mind, Not the World. It was about Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, but for Tomas, it felt like someone finally handed him the manual to his own mind. One quote hit him like lightning. You cannot control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. Narrator, firm but calm. That one sentence shifted something deep inside. Because Tomas realized, his anger wasn't caused by the world, it was his reaction to it, his choice. Even if unconscious. Cut to Tomas journaling, walking slowly through a forest, sitting quietly with his morning coffee. He didn't become a monk overnight, but he started small when emotions rose. He paused and breathed instead of shouting. He observed instead of slamming doors. He walked outside. Each day, he trained himself to respond, not react. Narrator. You see, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about understanding it, and then choosing wisely. It's about reclaiming the space between stimulus and response. Tomas learned that emotions are like waves, they rise, they peak, and they fall, but you don't have to ride every wave, you can watch them, you can wait. And in that waiting, you find your power. Cut to Tomas helping his son with homework. A spilled drink. He smiles, breathes, and calmly wipes it up. Same world, same chaos, but a different man. Narrator, inspiring. Tomas's story isn't unique, it's human. And it's a reminder. The fight is not outside, it's within, and once you start training your mind, just like Tomas, the world begins to change. One breath at a time. Fade out with Tomas walking down a quiet street. Peaceful music playing. Text on screen. Coming up next, the 3 Stoic principles that changed Tomas' life. Let's be honest. How many times has one comment ruined your entire day? A passing remark, a tone of voice, a look, not because it was objectively hurtful, but because of what your mind told you it meant. You're not good enough. They don't respect you. You failed. But here's the truth most people never hear. Strong emotional reactions are usually not about what happened, they're about a mind that's been left untrained. Scene switches to a visual metaphor, a wild horse running erratically. Then a calm rider enters, gently guiding it. Your mind is like a powerful animal left alone. It runs wild, reacting to every sound, every shadow, but when trained, it becomes a force of clarity and calm. And that's what Stoicism teaches us. If you don't control your thoughts will control you. Scene shifts to a man in a meeting. He hears feedback. This time, instead of reacting, he takes a breath. So how do you train the mind? Let's break it down into 3 simple but powerful tools you can start using today. Hammer and wrench tool number 1. The 3-second pause. When something triggers you, a rude comment, a setback, a bad headline, just stop, don't react, take 3 deep breaths. That small pause creates space between stimulus and response. Because in that space, you regain your power. Hammer and wrench tool number 2. Rewrite the story. Your mind is always telling stories. She insulted me. He thinks I'm incompetent. I'll never get this right. But what if you rewrote the script? Try this instead. She gave me feedback. That means she believes I can do better. He's probably stressed. It's not about me. This is just a challenge, not a verdict on my worth. Change the story. Change your emotional state. Hammer and wrench tool number 3. Become the observer. This is one of the most powerful Stoic techniques. Step back from your thoughts, watch them. Like clouds passing across the sky, don't fight. Don't judge, just observe. Say to yourself, I notice I'm feeling angry. I notice my heart's racing. I'm watching this thought, but I don't have to follow it. This simple shift, from being in the emotion to watching it, transforms everything. Narrator, reflective. You are not your thoughts, you are the one watching them. And once you understand that, you stop being a slave to your mind, and start becoming its master. Cut to a quiet room. A woman sits calmly, journaling. On the page, we see her write, pause, observe, choose. Because every moment gives you 2 options. Be controlled by your mind, or take control of it. And once you start choosing, even just once, that's where transformation begins. Fade out to soft instrumental music. On screen. Coming up next, the daily rituals that build mental strength. 1 moment, just 1 second of lost control, and years of respect. Discipline and admiration can vanish in front of millions. We all saw it. Will Smith, a man admired by millions, let a few words ignite something in him, and in that split second, the anger took the wheel. Cut to a visual of a burning match dropped onto paper. Everything ignites instantly. Was he a bad person? No, he was human, just like you. Just like me, but that moment reminds us of something crucial. Anger is not strength, anger is a voluntary surrender of self-control. Narrator, softens, reflective. Here's the thing. Anger doesn't solve problems, it doesn't undo the insult, it doesn't change the past, it only takes something from you, your peace. Your clarity, your power. You think you're winning the argument, but really, you're losing something far more valuable, your center. Cut to a visual metaphor. A soldier laying down his sword. Stepping away from chaos. Choosing silence over violence. And that's where Stoicism offers something radical and healing. Let's look at 3 simple Stoic tools to help you master your anger instead of being mastered by it. Hammer and wrench tool number 1. The 90-second rule. Did you know the physiological surge of anger, the hormones, the adrenaline, lasts only about 90 seconds after that? It's just you, keeping the fire alive with your thoughts. So next time anger bubbles up, try this. Pause, breathe deeply, let 90 seconds pass, watch how much softer the urge becomes when you don't feed it. You don't need to fix everything right now, you just need to not make it worse. Hammer and wrench tool number 2. Move the body. Clear the mind. Anger builds pressure, physically tight fists, shallow breath, racing heart. One Stoic remedy? Move. Walk. Stretch. Step outside, let your body release the tension so your mind can think clearly again. A 10-minute walk can save you from a 10-year regret. Hammer and wrench tool number 3. Ask the perspective question. Before reacting, ask yourself, will this matter a week from now? If not, why let it destroy this moment? Stoics trained themselves to zoom out, to ask, will this define my life? Is this worth my peace? Do I want to give this person that much power over me? Narrator, steadier, wiser. When you respond with calm, you're not weak, you're powerful, because anyone can react, but it takes strength, real strength, to choose your response. Cut to Will Smith months later, apologizing in tears, rebuilding. 1 moment of anger can undo years of wisdom, but 1 moment of awareness can stop the cycle before it begins. So next time the fire rises, pause, move, zoom out. Because your peace is worth more than your pride and your self-mastery. That is your true legacy. Screen fades to black. Text. Up next. Daily habits that train the mind like a Stoic. Soft music plays. In every battle, on the field, in the boardroom, or in everyday life, the most dangerous person is never the loudest, it's the calmest. The one who doesn't flinch under pressure, the one who doesn't raise their voice, because they don't need to. Cut to a business meeting. Everyone's talking over each other. One person stays silent, listening. When they finally speak, the room goes quiet. That's the paradox. True power doesn't yell, it doesn't scramble, it doesn't chase attention. It simply is. Narrator. Reflective. We often mistake calmness for weakness. We think if someone's not reacting, not fighting back, they must be passive, but ask yourself this. Who do you trust more in a crisis, the person who panics, or the one who breathes, thinks, and moves with purpose? Calm is not the absence of emotion, it's the presence of control. Cut to a parent gently handling a child's tantrum. A driver letting someone cut them off, then smiling and moving on. A leader staying composed while everyone else is losing focus. Stoicism teaches us that staying calm is an active choice, it's not natural. It's not easy, but it's powerful. Because when you're calm, you stay in control, you can think clearly, and most importantly, you don't hand your power over to someone else. Hammer and wrench. Here's a simple truth. The person who angers you controls you, the person who rattles you owns you, but the person who stays centered owns themselves. And from that place, you don't just protect your peace, you earn respect. People don't respect loud, they respect presence, they respect consistency, they respect someone who doesn't get shaken by every storm. Cut to Marcus Aurelius' statue. Then transition to modern-day examples. Firefighters, surgeons, military leaders, calm under pressure. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, ruled over one of the most turbulent times in Roman history, and yet his greatest strength wasn't his army, it was his inner calm. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Narrator. Inspiring. So if you're someone who's been told you're too quiet or too calm, good. Stay that way, because while others waste energy reacting, you'll be leading. And in the end, the calmest one in the room isn't weak, they're the one everyone watches. Fade out to black screen. Text. Next. The daily habits that train calmness like a muscle. Soft instrumental music plays. Marta had done everything right. She worked hard, showed up early, stayed late. She led projects, trained new hires, got glowing reviews. And when promotion time came around, she was passed over. No warning, no explanation, just, we chose someone else. Cut to a flashback montage. Marta staying late at work, helping coworkers, keeping her cool under pressure. Was it fair? No. Was it painful? Absolutely. But here's what makes Marta different. She didn't spiral, she didn't complain, she didn't let one injustice define her path. Narrator. Firmer. She took a deep breath, she straightened her shoulders, and she kept showing up, with the same grace, focus, and integrity as before. And over time, people noticed not just her work ethic, but her attitude. 6 months later, when a bigger, better opportunity opened up, they came to her. Scene transitions to Marta giving a confident presentation, this time in a higher position. You see, Stoicism doesn't tell you the world is fair because it's not, it never was. Sometimes the wrong people get rewarded, sometimes effort isn't recognized, sometimes life just doesn't make sense. But Stoicism teaches something far more powerful than fairness. It teaches acceptance without surrender. Scroll Epictetus once wrote, "Don't expect events to happen as you wish for them to happen as they do." That doesn't mean giving up, it means letting go of resistance, it means focusing on what you can control, and releasing what you can't. Cut to visuals of people reacting differently to the same challenge. One person gets bitter. The other gets better. When life disappoints you, you have two options. Rage, blame, collapse. Stay centered, keep moving, rise anyway. Marta chose the second, and it made all the difference. Narrator. Inspiring, resolute. There will be times you're overlooked, unappreciated, misunderstood, and it'll hurt. But remember this. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond. So when life isn't fair, Don't let it poison your spirit, let it polish your character. Because calm resilience in the face of unfairness, that's not weakness, that's wisdom. Fade out. Text on screen. Next. How to turn any obstacle into growth, the Stoic way. Uplifting music plays softly. Let's get one thing straight. People will provoke you, they'll push your buttons, they'll say the wrong things at the worst times. But here's the key question: do you have to react? Because whether you explode or stay calm, that's not on them, that's on you. Cut to a visual of a finger hovering over a red button labeled React. Then it pulls away slowly. The truth is, losing control is a choice, and so is keeping it. Stoic thinkers knew this well. They believed that no one can make you angry, anxious, or upset without your permission. It's not the event, it's your interpretation, it's your response. Hammer and wrench. So what can you do in those moments of rising heat? Try what I call emotional airplane mode. You know, when you put your phone on airplane mode, no calls, no notifications, no connection to outside noise. Now imagine doing that with your emotions. When someone says something hurtful, instead of instantly replying, you mentally switch to airplane mode. You disconnect from the emotional trigger just for a moment. You give yourself a sacred pause. Not forever, just long enough to regain your signal, your values, your clarity. Cut to a woman in traffic. Another driver cuts her off. She raises a hand to honk, then pauses. Exhales. She smiles instead and turns up the music. That's what Stoicism teaches us. You are always one thought away from peace, one pause away from power. And here's a powerful question to carry with you. Do I really want to hand my emotions over to this person? Think about it. When you react in anger, you're saying, "Here, take my peace, control my mind, decide how I feel today." But when you stay calm, you say, "No, I choose me." Narrator. Inspiring tone. Look, life's messy. People are messy, but your inner world, that's sacred ground. Don't let just anyone walk through it with dirty shoes. Every day, you'll have moments where you're tested. You can either let your emotions hijack your peace, or choose to stay in the captain's seat. The button is always there, you get to decide whether you press it. So the next time someone pushes you, pause, breathe, switch to airplane mode. And remember, self-control isn't about suppression, it's about freedom, the freedom to respond. Not react, the freedom to own your story, instead of letting someone else write it. Screen fades to black. Text on screen. Next. Reclaiming peace, the final Stoic rituals for everyday life. Uplifting instrumental music plays. We've all been there. You're overwhelmed, your thoughts are spinning, your chest is tight, and your brain feels like a browser with 37 tabs open, and nothing is loading. In those moments, most of us try to think our way out. We push harder, we overanalyze, we spiral. But here's the Stoic shift. When the mind is in chaos, don't add more thinking, move the body instead. Cut to a person stepping outside, taking a walk, breathing slowly. Their shoulders relax, their eyes soften. You see, calm doesn't start in the mind, it starts in the body. Movement is medicine, a walk, a stretch, even just 3 deep breaths. These aren't just wellness tips, they're tools to calm your nervous system. Your body tells your brain, "We're safe. You can slow down now." Scroll. Seneca once wrote, "No wind is favorable to the sailor who has no direction." And here's what that means for you. When your thoughts feel like a storm, don't try to steer hard or drop the sails. Recenter. Use your body as the anchor, let your breath be the compass. Hammer and wrench. So, what can you do when your mind is too loud to hear your own wisdom? Walk. No destination, no podcast, just movement. Let your thoughts unravel with each step. Stretch. Release tension from the places stress hides, your neck, shoulders, jaw. As your muscles loosen, so does your grip on the problem. Breathe. Try this. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Do it 3 times, watch what happens. Cut to a man standing barefoot on grass, eyes closed, a moment of stillness. He smiles faintly. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do, pause, not to escape, but to return to yourself. Your mind is not your master, but when your body is in panic mode, your mind listens to that panic. Reset the body, and the mind follows. Narrator. Inspiring. We live in a world that worships speed, but clarity rarely comes from rushing, it comes from grounding, from silence, from stillness in motion. So next time life feels like too much, don't try to think your way out. Step. Breathe. Reset. Because when your body finds calm, your mind will remember the way home. Fade out with soft instrumental music. Text on screen. Final chapter next. Becoming the calm in the chaos, a Stoic life. Have you ever wondered why some people seem unshakable? Why, even under pressure, they remain composed, while others fall apart? It's not luck, it's not some rare personality trait, it's training. Calmness is a choice, and like any choice, it gets stronger with practice. Scroll Seneca once wrote, "The more things that have power over you, the weaker you become." Let that sink in. If a rude comment can ruin your whole day, who's really in control? If a delay in traffic, a look from a stranger, a political post online can hijack your peace, that's not strength, that's surrender. And you deserve better than that. Cut to a visual of someone packing for a trip, careful, prepared. Then shift to a new metaphor, preparing emotionally for life's chaos. Here's the truth. Calm people don't stumble into peace, they prepare for it. They have what we call a plan B for their emotions. Not plan B, like backup career, but plan B as in, what will I do when someone pushes my buttons? How will I act when things don't go my way? Because let's be real, life will provoke you. So why not train for it like an athlete prepares for game day? Hammer and wrench, here's how to build your emotional plan B. Identify your triggers, what sets you off. Traffic, criticism, disrespect, know them like you'd know your opponent in a chess match. Pre-write your response, literally write it down. If this happens, I'll pause, I'll breathe, I'll choose calm over chaos. Rehearse in peace, practice in small moments, with a slow cashier. A loud neighbor, a minor inconvenience, that's where the muscle of calm is built. Cut to a firefighter calmly preparing his gear before a call. Then switch to a parent responding to a child's tantrum with steady grace. Because here's the truth. When the storm comes, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your training. Narrator, inspiring, concluding, every moment, you get to choose. Do I give my power away or do I hold the line? Do I react out of habit or respond with intention? You don't need the world to calm down, you need to become the calm. Because in a chaotic world, a calm mind is not just a gift, it's a superpower. So don't wait for peace to find you, train it, build it, choose it. Every single day. Final screen. Peace is not passive. It's practiced. Choose calm, again and again. Soft instrumental music fades out. Meet Brian, online. They call him Brianator. Born with a physical disability that limits his movement. Brian could have accepted the world's low expectations, but he didn't. He loved film, not just watching movies, but making them, and despite every barrier, he worked his way into the industry. He studied, practiced, directed until one day, his work got nominated for Spain's Goya Awards, the country's highest honor in cinema. Not as a disabled filmmaker, as a filmmaker. Period. Narrator, firm. You see, Brian's story reminds us of one simple truth. Life is not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. You can't always control your circumstances, but you always control your response. That's the foundation of Stoic thinking. Cut to a man sitting at his desk, face in hands. Then he opens a notebook and writes, "What can I do next?" Most people get stuck in the storm. Why did this happen? Why me? Why now? But Stoics ask a different question. Given what's happened, what's my next move? Hammer and wrench, here's a tool to practice in moments of adversity. When things go wrong, pause, take a breath, then grab a pen and paper, write down 3 possible actions. Even if they're small, even if they seem obvious. Because when you start focusing on solutions, you take your power back. You're not drowning anymore, you're swimming. Cut to Brian on stage, accepting an award. He says, "This isn't just for me. It's for everyone who was told they couldn't." Brian's condition didn't change, but his direction did, and he chose to turn adversity into art. So ask yourself, are you reacting out of anger, fear, or helplessness, or are you responding with clarity, courage, and creativity? Scroll Epictetus, who himself was born into slavery and walked with a limp, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You can rage, you can blame, or you can write the next scene of your story. Narrator, uplifting. You don't need the perfect situation, you need the right mindset. Because what defines your life isn't the setbacks, it's the steps you choose to take after them. So when life hits hard, like it did for Brian, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What now?" And from that question a new chapter begins. Fade to black. Text on screen. Last chapter next. The Stoic Way, a life of calm, clarity, and choice. Uplifting instrumental swells. Most of us don't notice it, but in moments of stress, our breath changes, it becomes short, sharp, fast. And that's not just a side effect, it's a signal. A cue to your nervous system, we're under attack. Even when there's no danger, just an email, a comment, a delay, but your body doesn't know the difference. Cut to a woman reading an angry text. Her breathing quickens, her jaw tightens. She's about to reply, then pauses. Because here's the truth. The way you breathe is the way you think. When your breath is rushed, your thoughts become chaotic. When your breath is steady, your mind follows. Hammer and wrench. So what can you do when emotions rise? Use this. The 4-7-8 technique. Simple, silent, powerful. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat 3 times. That's it. Why it works. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest, digestion, calm. It slows your heart rate, lowers cortisol, restores clarity. Cut to a soldier in training. Gunfire in the background. He pauses, breathes, moves forward calmly. Then cut to a nurse in a chaotic doing the same. You see, breathing isn't just survival, it's strategy. Firefighters use it, pilots use it, meditators, athletes, Navy SEALs. Because before you can think clearly, you have to breathe clearly. Scroll. The Stoics didn't talk about breath as a wellness trend. They saw it as a tool for command. Marcus Aurelius would journal before battle. Epictetus taught his students to pause and return inward whenever emotions took over. They didn't call it 4-7-8 breathing, but the principle was the same. Control the breath, and you regain control of the moment. Narrator, inspiring, focused. So the next time life pushes you, before you speak, before you send that text, before you react, just breathe. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Scene ends with slow motion. The same woman from before puts her phone down. She steps outside, inhales, holds, exhales. Peace returns to her face. Remember this. Breathe first, react later. Because mastery doesn't start with your words, your tone, or your timing. It starts with your breath. Fade out. Text on screen. You don't need to control the world. Just your next breath. Peaceful instrumental music plays. If only I'd spoken up. What if I fail again next time? I should have handled it differently. What if it happens again? Narrator, gentle, reflective. Sound familiar? Most people don't live in the present, they live in a movie. One edited by regrets of the past, or imagined fears of the future. And the problem, you can't fix the past, you can't predict the future, but you can miss the only place life is truly happening, right now. Cut to a mother playing with her child, but her eyes are glued to her phone. Then switch to a man at dinner, replaying a mistake from work instead of hearing what his partner is saying. When your mind drifts constantly to what was or what might be, you miss out on what is. And that's where Stoicism and modern mindfulness intersect. They both teach us to return to the present moment, because only in the now can you act, think clearly, and live fully. Hammer and wrench. Here are 2 tools to help you anchor yourself back to now. 1. The mental anchor technique. Find a small object, a ring, bracelet, stone, coin, anything you can carry easily. When you catch your mind spinning, touch it, feel its texture, its weight, its temperature. Use it as a physical cue to remind you, I'm here. I'm safe. I'm present. It sounds simple, because it is, but the body needs a signal to come back. 2. The 1-minute reset. Wherever you are, pause for 60 seconds. Do this. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Feel your breath enter and leave your body. Notice the sounds around you, without judgment. Scan how your body feels, the chair beneath you, your feet on the ground. Just be. No phone, no fixing, no future, just this moment. You don't need a retreat in the mountains, you need 1 conscious minute. Scroll. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this. And you will find strength. And the mind's power begins in presence, because clarity lives in the now, not in the echo of what already happened, or the shadow of what hasn't. Cut to a close-up of the man from the park earlier. He stops, touches a small pendant around his neck, breathes deeply, looks up, and smiles faintly. Narrator, inspiring. You've already survived your past. The future will unfold, with or without your worry. But this moment, this now, is the only thing that truly belongs to you. So live in it, breathe it, and touch the ground beneath your feet. Feel the life in your hands. Because when you stop chasing what was and stop fearing what might be, you discover the peace of what is. Fade to black. Text on screen. Next, the final chapter, living a Stoic life in a modern world. Gentle instrumental music plays. You've been there. Too many thoughts, too much noise, your mind spinning like a washing machine on overdrive. And what do most people try to do? They try to think their way out, overanalyze, replay, push harder. But here's the paradox. Sometimes the answer to a cluttered mind is not more thinking, it's movement, with your hands. Cut to visuals. Someone kneading dough. Another person painting. Someone quietly carving a piece of wood. A child stitching fabric with focused calm. Throughout history, during times of deep stress, humans turned to their hands. During World War II, soldiers in the trenches would carve figurines from wood scraps others sewed or fixed gear by hand. Not just out of necessity, but as a way to calm their minds, to anchor themselves back into the present. Because the hands know what the mind forgets. Stillness doesn't always mean silence. Sometimes it means doing something small, and doing it fully. Hammer and wrench. So, what can you do when your thoughts feel tangled and tight? Pick up something physical. Chop vegetables. Water your plants. Paint. Build. Repair. Write by hand, slowly. Fold laundry with care. You're not distracting yourself, you're discharging the tension. You're giving your mind space, by giving your body something real to do. Scroll. The Stoics knew this too, in their own way. Marcus Aurelius, even while leading an empire, found peace in writing daily reflections, not to be published, just to process, to move his thoughts through his hands. Epictetus taught that we must practice in the little things, and those little things often start with simple physical action. Cut to a man fixing a broken chair. Each movement slow, deliberate. His breathing slows. His mind softens. Narrator, warm, reassuring. Your mind is powerful, but it's not meant to run non-stop. So when it's overworked, don't just try harder, switch gears. Let your hands take over, let action become meditation, let creation become clarity. Because sometimes, peace isn't something you find, it's something you make, with your own two hands. Final scene fades out with soft piano music. The person from the first scene now painting slowly, focused and at ease. A deep breath. Peace returns. Text on screen. When the mind is full, let the hands lead the way. Narrator, calm, reflective. You can't control the traffic, you can't control the news, you can't control what other people say, or what happens next. But you can always control one thing: how you show up inside it all. You can choose chaos or you can choose calm. You can react out of fear or respond with clarity. You can live on edge or learn to lie from your center. Cut to quiet moments from previous scenes. A man breathing before speaking. A woman walking in nature. Someone closing their eyes and placing a hand on their chest. Because calmness is not weakness, it's not indifference, it's not silence or suppression. It's power, it's discipline, it's freedom. Scroll. The Stoics said it best. You may not control events, but you can always control your mind. And every time you choose calm, even in small moments, you reclaim your freedom, you rise above the noise, you become unshakable. Not because the world is peaceful, but because you are. Hammer and wrench. So here's the final challenge for you, the final invitation. If you've made it this far, if something in this video spoke to you, if you want to live with more calm, more control, more clarity, then declare it. Type in the comments, I choose calm. Say it, mean it, own it. Because calm isn't just a feeling, it's a decision. One breath at a time, one choice at a time, one moment at a time. Final screen. Warm instrumental music swells. Slow fade to black. Text appears. I choose calm. Then, underneath, if you do too, like, comment, and subscribe to walk this journey together. Narrator. Soft voiceover. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more people like you. Calm in the chaos. Anchored. Free.